Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Ruth Farms. My name is Luke. Today is Wednesday, August the 7th. Currently heading our way is Hurricane, Tropical Storm, Tropical Depression, Debbie. Not sure what it is now. It was a Category 1 hurricane, I believe. But it is headed our way from kind of our coast, and we're going to really see the impact of that tomorrow, Thursday. I've seen reports, or I guess guesses, forecast, if you will, of anywhere from 4 to like 12 inches of rain for our area. So I want to get everything buttoned up tonight because tomorrow might get ugly. I'm going to show y'all, take y'all around, show you a few of our crops, maybe show you some double crop beans, our full season beans, and maybe even show you a little bit of the corn before the storm gets here, just in case the storm really lays havoc on it. Right now I'm pretty happy with some of our crops. Corn, not so much, but anyway, first things first, we have our shed that we put our straw in. I put a tarp pit up here to cover up the straw that kind of hung out the end. I just want to make sure we got some boards and stuff holding this tarp down just to keep the wind. We're not really supposed to get a lot of wind. I think like maybe 15 to 30 miles an hour. So we're not going to get a really lot of wind, but I don't want rain to be able to blow in my shed and cover my straw up. So I'm going to take care of this real quick, and then we will go work on some crops. We just got a bunch of boards we stack up here. This is our shed we built back here back in spring. I got some footage of doing it, but I also lost a lot of footage. Had a memory card get corrupted. And here's our shed, packed full of straw here. I think there's somewhere around 2,000 bales in there. We'll start selling that before long. I have a guy that comes, pretty much buys every bale I've got. So here probably September, October, he'll start coming. So let's go out here, check out the double crop beans, then we'll go from there. So we have some pretty decent looking double crop beans, some of them. This is the Low Place farm. As you can see, this portion of it is starting to get a pretty decent canopy. Picks up on camera. Some of these beans right here are spotted. I just applied our post-emergence herbicide on this, trying to get it out before this rain. I applied it just a few days ago. We applied a residual herbicide with it to kind of try to help hold the weeds back. Being we're gonna get this much rain now, I don't know how much that's gonna help. But that's what that spotting is. But overall, this portion of the field looks pretty good. If y'all see back there, and then all here around the edges, and you can't see it from here, but the back side of this field, I switched from a Norfolk King 5.4 maturity group. It's an Extend Flex soybean. I switched from that to a 5.6 maturity NK soybean. And I don't know what happened, if the seed just weren't good, if the seed didn't like the pre-emergent herbicide I had put down before we planted, or what. I really don't know, but the 5.6 maturity group did not come up good at all. I'm gonna guess at least 50% less stand. As y'all can tell through here, everywhere I switched to that bean, it's just like this. So when we planted this field, we went, back and forth, back and forth. Somewhere right on that side of that pond right there is where I ran out of the 5.4 maturity. Then I switched to the 5.6 to finish the back, and then to drill the ends. Both ends on each side of the field and the back there, they look like crap. I'll be honest with you. I did come back in here probably 2 weeks ago now, and I re-drilled them. I re-drilled the soybeans. You can see some coming up here fresh now, but I'm not sure what happened. I don't know. But anyway, it is what it is, With this rain coming, I don't know what this is gonna do to our crops anyway. That's a lot of rain to receive at one time, so our double crops may not make a whole lot anyway, but we'll see. But like I said, overall, this field here looks pretty decent. Let's go to the next one. I don't know how well this picks up on camera, but if you can see that row right there, that would have been my first row with the 5.6 maturity, and the one beside it was the first one with the 5.4. And there is a big difference and stand. Like I said, you know, some of them came up. It's real odd, but I don't know. It is what it is. I know for sure I'm not going to be planting that soybean variety next year because I do not like it at all. So far the 5.4 is looking pretty good, but that 5.6, nope. So these are our very first planted double crop soybean. These actually look pretty good. You know, they're about shin high on me right now. These are a little over a month old. We're not starting to bloom or anything yet. I think the other day we were at like the V6, V7 stage. I ripped quite a few of the roots off there. I don't have a shovel with me, but here's what our plant's kind of looking like now. Everything's looking pretty healthy. Like I said, I did get a little herbicide burn there. Here's our root system, minus the part that actually broke off. Y'all see there them little ball looking things on the root, if it's focusing. Those little balls are the nodules. That's what produces the nitrogen for the soybean plant. Looks like we have quite a bit of nodulation going on there, which is good. But like I say, overall, you know, this field is looking really good. I'm very pleased with the stand on this field. This is the NK 5.4 maturity extend flex bean. But overall, it's looking pretty daggone good, and I'm keeping it pretty weed free, thankfully. Trying to keep the pigweeds out of here. This used to be one of my worst fields, but we've got it a lot better. Let's walk up here. I'm gonna show you some of our corn. It burned up. So, just gonna pick a random place here and pick an ear. Boy, they look terrible. It's just pick an ear. It's just not good. The plants themselves don't look that terrible, but this is what we're gonna be harvesting. It's like 14 around and about 21 long. There are places that's better, but you know, we just went through so much of a drought there. We stayed clean in here, but our first planted corn is not gonna do good. You know, I'm kind of shooting for maybe 50, 75 bushels the acre. If we get more than that, great. If not, then I don't guess I can be too disappointed. But I'm afraid the Smith farm, which was our newer ground to us last year, I'm afraid it's gonna be a pretty much total loss. That ground was pretty poor anyway. And then between this drought and the ground being poor, you know, we had a beautiful stand. The stalks, the corn plant itself looked beautiful, but it hit that drought right around that time. You know, the corn was tasseling, going into reproductive mode. And a lot of those stalks don't even have ears on them. So our later planted corn over at the Low Place farm, from the ears I pulled, looked pretty good, minus the areas that we went in and worked, the wet areas. And I don't know if they just turned off wet or what. I walked in there and a lot of that corn isn't chest high, and most of the ears have what we call smut, which is a disease, a fungus that the corn gets, makes it look gray. It's gross looking, but apparently a delicacy in certain parts of the world. But anyway, I'm hoping over there we can get some decent corn, and hopefully between all the corn that's here, hopefully we can try to make a little bit of our money back. But hopefully our soybeans are gonna be our saving grace for this year. All right, y'all, so this is some of our full season soybeans. These are a AgriGold 5110 Extend Flex Hybrid. These things are getting tall. Since that rain, they have really gone to putting on, really getting some height. We are just now starting to set some pods. Really looking good. Kept them pretty weed free. Pull one here and show you guys. So this is our bean plant. As y'all can see here, we got plenty of blooms there, purple blooms, and we are starting to set some pods here. There's a 4 bean pod. That'll be a 4 bean pod. There's a 3 bean. Hopefully this will make some decent yields here. Looks like we got some kind of a tar or something. Might be some type of fungus down here at the bottom. I don't know if that shows up for y'all. If any of y'all have had any issues like that, let me know. Not sure, but here's our root system, what I didn't rip off. You can see on there, there's plenty of those nodules, those little balls. That's what gets our nitrogen. But overall, pretty good, healthy. Our leaves look pretty good. We're got a little bit of insect damage, but nothing too bad. Trying to decide, we may come in here and put a fungicide after this hurricane gets out. We'll just see how much rain we get. But overall, they're looking pretty good. Obviously here beside the field, the woods is not gonna look all that great, but you know, across the field, they look pretty consistent. I like to come in here and spray along the edges of all my fields, especially close to the road and stuff. Make it look good, you know, make people really think that, you know what you're doing. You do a good job. Take a little extra time to spray and keep it clean. You know, I feel like it, you know, makes you look good. So, but overall, really tickled. This is just a little like 2 acre patch here. We got this little 2 acre patch. There's an acre patch back there, and then there's about 5 acres in the back. But they all look pretty daggone good considering the drought we went through. I'm tickled. Hopefully we can get some decent yields off of these. Here's our other double crops. I'd say these are a little healthier than the other ones. They're up to be about waist high now. And these are really starting to set the pods on here, so looking pretty good. These are the same Agrigold 5110, planted on 15-inch rows. I have high hopes for this farm. As y'all can tell, these beans are beautiful. They got a really, really nice, even, you know, stance all the way across. Over there, we had a little bit of ups and downs over there. We got some, had them drown out a little bit, but I'm really, really hoping this storm don't knock these things over. Hopefully they've got enough vigor, but they are getting tall. These are our full season beans before the storm. It's a mean old dozer. They got this D8 here. They got a cat, I think it's a 973. Yep, 973C. Then they got a newer D7 down there. They got a Komatsu over there. There's an excavator down the road. They got the stuff to clear with. Maybe one day we can get over here and try to run it if they let us. They clearing up about 15 acres, including on this field, so it'll make it about 50. And then from my understanding, the neighbor here is they're gonna clear some of it too, so we might gain some acres this year, y'all. We're gonna get ready to start hauling some chicken litter. This new ground's gonna take a lot to really get it built up. So we're just trying to get everything cleared out of our way, make it easy on us. After this hurricane comes through, we can get to hauling. But beautiful evening here in North Carolina. Really hope these beans stay standing through the storm. Debbie ain't quite done. Still raining a little bit. Right now we're about 4 3/4 of an inch since sometime last night. Coleman and I were here in the shop. We got our Caterpillar V50D forklift in here. We had some issues with it, some fuel issues. We replaced the fuel filter housing. We have just been doing some general stuff on it. The clutch pedal here has always been locked up. It's supposed to be when you push the clutch pedal, there's a little cylinder down here it depresses that kicks it out of gear, and if you push it far enough it matches the brake. We got that freed up. Put a new alternator on it. The old one has never worked. Now we have some lights we're going to put on it. We're going to put some new battery cable terminal ends. Just some routine stuff. Make it a little nicer on us loading corn stuff this winter. Getting ready to start bagging corn here very shortly. I'm gonna buy a truckload from a neighbor who's got some, but we got these battery cable ends off of Amazon. We got where we like these pretty good. They're good heavy duty ones. We got some wire for our LED lights. And we got 4 of these little LED pods. Probably gonna mount like one up there on each corner or something, just so we have a little bit of light. We got the alternator charging now so that we'll actually be able to charge the battery as we're doing it. So gotta do that. I think we're gonna maybe service it and get her ready. Ain't nothing else we can do this evening. Old Debbie's raining down on us. Litter truck is coming very, very soon. This forklift's already got this little switch panel here. Got some switches on it. Got some fuse holders in there. Did have some lights, but we're gonna take all those off, put new ones in it. Someone's working on it right now. We're gonna get at it.
Alright, I don't know if we mentioned or not, these are the terminals we'll be using. They're a military spec. Put them on there, and then you got all that room to put accessories, whatever, and just makes it easier. And I'm a pretty good size, so you know, something that needs a lot of amperage can pull off that.
Alright, y'all, got my big old Ideal cutters here. We're gonna cut these cables.
Crimper?
These are cutters here.
Oh. Oh, there's a crimper in it.
No going back now. Or if we'd have to go get some terminals. Don't remember if I bought any big ones or not. That'll mount just like that, or like that, whichever way we decide to do it. I got some big crimpers to crimp them on with. This is a little hammer-on battery crimper. Just take your lug, put it in there, and then you hammer it. Works a lot better if you got a solid surface. I don't think you've hit it enough yet. And they come with these little crimp sleeves, or these little heat shrinks. You just shrink right over them. Just a little cheap kit from Amazon. A lot cheaper than buying them at your local Advance or O'Reilly's. On top of crimping on these battery terminals, I'm also going to solder them on. So I've got my torch and my solder. I'm going to get it hot. I can see that solder going in there now. It just gives it a extra good connection. As soon as that cools off a little bit, I will slide our heat shrink up here. Don't mind my heat shrink job, but that's our final product. I'm gonna do the hot side now. Coleman's been working on, we got a ground wire here that'll hook on the side of it. Then we got our wires for our lights down there that'll do the same. I'll go ahead and spray my terminals down here with this spray again. Put these little protective boots on here. They don't fit the greatest, but it goes. Same thing for this side. Which this side here we got to add our positive for our other stuff, so we'll get it in a little bit.
Alright, so we have a debate that me and Luke want to know. Should we put a backup beeper on this or a horn so that I can annoy Luke every single time I run this thing? Let us know.
Or neither. That's the better option.
No.
It's already got a backup beeper. It's just Bluetooth wiring to it.
Please vote for the horn so we can annoy Luke with this thing.
We got our battery cables and all that hooked up. We're just waiting on Coleman to hurry up with the electrical for the lights. He's got one of the lights installed over here. This is not OSHA approved, standing on the forklift here. We got our one light here. We got it turned upside for. It's gonna shine off into space. We're getting there though, slowly but steadily. I want to get some longer forks for this thing. These are like 3 foot long forks. I want some at least 4 foot long forks. Coleman's mounting our brackets for our other lights here. Said earlier we're gonna put one on each corner there, and then we're gonna put 2 back here as well. Probably mount them up here somewhere. I'm probably gonna try to figure out how we can fix this muffler because it ain't rattling near as bad right now, but that's what it does when you crank it.
Very loud.
Loud as crap. But we're getting there. We got our lights on there. We got our little switch box here. It's got these fuses in here already. Got our switches. We're having some issues with corrosion. Some of this is old stuff. But we got our wiring. It runs up these little tubes that were already here. Got them all here. Everything's heat shrinked. Got it all running around. We got one here joining over to there. We're gonna have 2 separate switches. I'll have one for the backs and then one switch for the fronts. There's the backs.
They're both working. I just got the switches on.
And there's the fronts. Coleman can't complain about not being able to see now. What's next?
No horn.
She's out of the shop finally. Look at them lights. That's a pretty decent job. I'll be glad to get that thing to the barn and stay there for a while. I have no idea what he's doing. Thing looks about like them tractors. I think it was tractors from the original Cars movie. You know, it lit up in the dark. Well, y'all, I think that's gonna be a wrap for this one. I think the hurricane is about gone. We ended up with somewhere around 5 inches. I don't think we've had enough to really amount maybe a tenth this evening since I talked to you last. About 5 inches, but all of our crops still look okay as far as damage from the hurricane, so I think we're all right there. But anyway, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate you watching. Have a good one. God bless.